Alright, so today we're going to go over blend shapes. We're actually going to start doing facial animations today and how those work. So I've got Ryu here, and we're going to be looking at him and going over some stuff, and then we're going to be going over this in class as well. But this video is just to help you, just in case you get lost. Alright, so we've got his head, and most video game character models will have their heads separate so that we can go ahead and apply our blend shapes to them. So I'm going to take his head, I'm going to hit W for move. I'm just going to go ahead and make a couple copies of it. So I'm just going to shift slide it off. Make a copy, shifts, whoops. And then we want to keep making some copies. Okay. So I've got 3 copies to mess with right now. So what we're going to do is look at how we actually animate this to change the way he looks. And we're going to use something called Morpher. Morpher will take 2 shapes and blend them together to give us our final shape. So I'm going to take this guy right here. I'm going to say I want him to smirk. So I'm going to make him smirk at us. And we're also going to be going over something called soft selection. Soft selection is going to make your life much, much easier. So with this face selected, I'm going to go ahead and go to my vertices, and then I'm going to click on this little guy, which is soft selection. So when I have soft selection turned on, if I click on something, you can see that everything goes orange. Well, I don't want that. So I'm going to click on soft selection, and when I have fall off, is I can turn that fall off way down. So you can see exactly what's going to be moved. Right? So I'm going to go ahead and grab these right here. Okay, so I gave him a little bit of a smirk right there. And again, your soft selection tools are going to be used to control everything. So I can go 0.05 as my soft selection fall off. So now I'm just grabbing that one vertex and kind of pulling that other one. So again, soft selection is used to control more than one vertice just by pulling it. So this one, soft selection is too low to grab anything else. So if I just open up this, I'll go ahead and make that 0.1. So now you can see it's grabbing this one and slightly pulling on the other ones. See? So that's going to allow you to adjust your shapes quite a bit. So we've got the smirk there, but how do I apply it to the main model? So I'm going to click on the main model over here. I'm going to do a drop-down list, and I'm going to type Morpher. Okay? So then you see that I have this huge list of possible entities, all the way to 100 for blend shapes, and you would end up wanting quite a few. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down to where it says channel parameters, and number 1 is empty. Okay, so when I say pick object from scene, click that. It's now called mesh 46. I'm just going to go ahead and rename this to smirk. Enter. So now if I come over here and I increase this value, he smirks. Okay, so I'm going to come to this one, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to make him look mean. We're going to make him look mad. So again, I'm going to use soft selection with a much smaller fall off. That should probably work. And what I'm doing, well, I don't want that one, looks like. So I'm going to select this guy, maybe this guy. And you're going to have a lot more time than what I'm just kind of messing with here. So I need to really adjust my soft selection tool so that way I don't end up. So 0.08. So now I'm not grabbing that bottom one. I'm grabbing it a little bit. Not too bad. Okay, so we're going to kind of narrow the eyes down. And what you would usually do is you'd actually separate them. So I wouldn't do both eyes on one. I'd actually separate that down. The reason, of course, being is that I might want to do some different facial poses. This is actually going to look more like he has a slightly lazy eye than anything else. Okay, so I'm going to come down back on this guy. I'm going to select the empty one. I'm going to pick object from scene. I'm just going to call this kind of squint. So then I can actually apply the squint and apply the smirk. So just like that, I've now given him actual facial animation, which these things are entirely keyframeable, which is pretty cool. Which is what you're going to do is you're actually going to turn in a keyframed animation. So if I go to auto key, so by frame 10, I want him to be smirking. And then by frame 20, I want the smirk to go away and the squint to start. So there we go. So now we've got some base animations there. Very easy to do, of course. So I'm going to delete my keyframes. Okay. So that's really all there is to morph targets. You're going to be having to make 8 different facial expressions.